Loads up into temporary memory, meaning if I go to lunch and my OpenRoads closes, and then I open OpenRoads up again, guess what I got to do? I got to go browse to this template library again, otherwise it's not going to remember. So it loads it in the current session's memory. So if you exit, you're going to have to do this again. People get bit on this when they build their corridors the first time. So I'm going to go ahead and close this dialog. Now, you can go to the upper right and you can click on the X, or you can choose the close button. It's up to you. But in the far upper right, I'm going to choose the close button. I just wanted to load that library into my active session. Now, once we do this, we're going to begin building our first corridor. Now, I'd like to pay attention to the two windows. I'm going to zoom in to the bottom of the project on the left window. So I'm going to roll my mouse wheel towards the bottom of my project. The only reason I'm doing this is so I can set focus on the object I'm going to grab. And that's going to be my alignment. Now, as you can see, we've got other line work in there, some shoulder edge of pavement, some right-of-way lines. If you just kind of hover, OpenRoads will tell you what they are. So just hover on some of them and you can see that information. You can see the feature it's on. You can see maybe the reference file it's coming from. There's some good pop-up info there. All right. Now, as we continue, we're going to go ahead and create our first corridor. To do this, I'm going to revert back to the ribbon. And if we look, the ribbon is progressive. It goes essentially left to right in the workflow. That's just how ribbons work. They typically capture a workflow from beginning to end around a particular theme, in this case corridors. And if we look on the ribbon, towards the left side, you'll see there's one option called New Corridor. Let's go ahead and select the icon called New Corridor. Now, when I do this, bear with me 1 minute, I gotta move a dialog on screen here so you can see it. There is an active dialog that should appear. Notice I have this dialog that appeared. And on my mouse, I have wording telling me to do something. It says locate corridor baseline. Now, before I proceed, I want to look at this dialog and make sure the settings meet my needs. Notice I've got two different groups, one for parameters, one for feature. I want to start with the feature, and what we want to do is identify the feature definition we're going to use for this. In this instance, we're going to use conceptual. Now, there are many. If I pick the pull down, there are many. I'm using conceptual today. Now, the name, we're going to see the name is going to update in a moment, so not much to do there. At this point, I just want to follow what the mouse says. It says on the mouse, on my screen, locate corridor baseline. So if you could for me, let's locate the red line, so that center line there, and we can see the pop-up info says London Road for the complex element. So this is the name of my alignment. That's that red line. If you're colorblind, I apologize. It's that line in the middle. So we're going to go ahead and hover on that. It says London Road. And I'm going to left mouse click one time on that line. Now when we do this, look at the active dialog. The name is now inherited the name of the alignment. I typically recommend this, and it's built into OpenRoads in my mind to help QC your project along the way. So if London Road was spelled wrong, what does that mean, guys? The alignment's spelled wrong. So we would want to talk to whoever built the geometry and have them fix that name. You know, because that's going to echo into reports, volumes, all sorts of stuff later on. So definitely want to pay attention to those little details. Now, once I've gone ahead and done that, let's look at my mouse again. It says locate profile, then there's a dash, and it says reset for active profile. Now, I'm going to tell you I found this frustrating as a new user. That is a choice. If you pay close enough attention to that, that's asking you, do you want the red pill or the blue pill? So in this instance, I can go select an individual profile or just use the one that the geometrics engineer has assigned to the horizontal geometry. I am going to use my right mouse button and accept whatever he said is the proper profile in this case. And it can be rectified later, so if for whatever reason they need to go back and make a change, that's okay. It's not going to affect my model other than, if the profile is no good, the model's going to start looking weird. But my model will take those changes as they propagate.